Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto. Hope you're having a great day. Some good stuff happened. We've got Sequoia Capital creating an over $500 million fund and a new fund restructuring. We have Shiba Inu making some nice announcements, including ShibaSwap 2.0. We have the Swiss city of Lugano moving to make Bitcoin Tether and their own LVGA token. So that's pretty cool. And we have not so great news in New York State. The United States currently, by hash rate percentage, is the leader in Bitcoin mining in the world. And New York is actually a big hub for Bitcoin mining in the United States. Unfortunately, there's a bill coming up that could ban that, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Of course, we have the macro events that definitely affect just about everything out there, and DCA. So let's get into it. Sequoia Capital has restructured their funds, and one of their funds is going to be about $500 to $600 million dedicated to cryptocurrencies and underlying technologies like Filecoin. That's a huge, huge, huge move. Yesterday in my video, I said that they had made a significant investment in Citadel, which is a market mover in its own right. And that obviously means that Citadel is also going to make some moves in the crypto space. So this move on top of that sends really big word for future events that are going to happen, right? In an interview today, one of the partners of Sequoia Capital was talking about how they want to make future investments, what they want to make investments in, like Filecoin, things like that, projects like that. And that's kind of cool because it doesn't necessarily tell you what's going on this second, but it is going to tell you how things are being affected going forward. And I think that is definitely something to pay attention to. And that kind of gives me hope, or additional hope, that cryptocurrencies are going to go up. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to what that investment fund is going to invest in, and that can give you some ideas on what you might want to invest in with regard to cryptocurrencies and underlying technologies, right? Because I tell you all the time, do your own research. Well, this is one of those things that can help you do your own research. The Shiba Inu team has listened to their community and said, you know what, we're going to create, or we are creating ShibaSwap 2.0, which will be a structured burning of the over 589 trillion coins in supply. And the reason why that's a big deal is because with so much supply, how could the price go up? So by creating a structure where they'd be able to burn coin, that makes it so that each coin starts to go up in value, which is really great. So that's directly listening to their Shibaverse. Well, not Shibaverse, but that's one of the products that we're going to talk about in a second. But listening to their Shiba community. With regard to the Shibaverse, they are growing that, and what they're doing is they're about to launch the sale of 99,000 pieces of land in Shibaverse. It's either Shibaverse or SHIBverse. I think it's SHIBverse. So that's really, really cool. The first 35,000 pieces of land are actually going to be held to be sold to people holding Leash, which is the token for SHIBverse. So that's really cool. They've also announced that they're going to have partnership or SHIB partners, which is something that's going to benefit people that have been holding SHIB for so long, that have been with them for the long haul. So I think that's cool. Like I said before, I keep saying, some outlets are still calling Shiba Inu a meme coin, but I find it really, really difficult to justify calling them a meme coin, considering they have so much utility and they have so much going on. They've announced that SHIB NFTs are coming. They've announced that in addition to all of that, that they are building out games, or that games are being built on the platform. So for me, good investment. Do I think it's going to go up? Absolutely. For me, I think that's a great investment for us. The Swiss city of Lugano. Wow. I mean, just let that wash over you. A city in Switzerland has decided that they are going to work alongside Tether Operations Limited. They are the team behind the world's largest stablecoin, which is Tether, USDT. And they're going to work to make Bitcoin Tether and their own LVGA token something that's called legal tender. That is amazeballs. And you can look at El Salvador, because when El Salvador did it, it immediately boosted up their what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, their tourism by 30%. So that's kind of, an eye opener for countries and cities around the world to kind of take a step back and go, wow. So it goes back to my conversation that I had with one of my friends in Curacao, where he was like, well, there's not a lot of cryptocurrency going on in Curacao. And the question I had for him, or not even the question I had, the statement I made to him was, well, a lot of people that are going to Curacao are from Europe. And in Europe, there's a lot of crypto adoption. So wouldn't it be cool if Curacao had some crypto adoption, and that might actually entice and lure some people in? The business that he's in, which is managing Airbnbs and managing properties in general, is something where I said, dude, even Airbnb is looking into accepting crypto. So that is a very big deal, because they're looking at it and saying, well, a lot of the people that are listening on Airbnb, when they get private listings, are using, cryptos. So the platform is looking into how they can do that. So I think that's going to be big, big, big news. Given the reach of Airbnb, I think that's going to be big news. And I said that the other day. Let's dive into that city getting into this. But by making those three coins legal tender, what that means is that over 62,000 citizens of Lugano would be able to pay for public services using crypto. Public services, taxes, that's a huge big deal. Here's something else that'll really make your jaw drop, and that's the fact that they've already signed up over 200 businesses to actually pull this off. So imagine 200 businesses in that city have already signed on to use Bitcoin and Lightning. And you sit there and you're just like, holy moly. So you're talking about things that are happening in a very, very rapid pace and picking up more and more momentum as days go on around the world. So something else to think about, because I think that if you have one Swiss city, I'm just wondering how many other cities would pick that up. So that to me is very interesting. Looking at New York State, the United States is actually the leader in hash rate percentage for Bitcoin mining, right, in the world. Eric Adams, who is the mayor of New York City, wants to make New York the Bitcoin hub of the world. Unfortunately, there is a bill that's been introduced by Anna R. Kells, who is a Democratic assembly member rather, in New York State, and she introduced a bill that would have a 3-year moratorium on issuing Bitcoin mining licenses in New York State. That would put that would have just a huge dampening effect on anything cryptocurrency in the state. So I think that's a possible major step back. I mean, maybe introduce a bill that says, well, if you're going to do Bitcoin mining, you can't just do it with, fossil fuels. Maybe you have to, add, some kind of renewable energy solution to it, or find other ways to decrease your carbon footprint. Maybe get with a couple of dumps that are creating energy from methane, doing that kind of thing. Whatever it is, you're going to have to figure that out. Not one of my friends, but I know that I made this video a while ago. I mean, I think like last week or the week before last, where I was talking about how energy from, instead of burning off oil or doing burn offs of basically oil into the atmosphere, a company has figured out how to package that energy and sell it to a local Bitcoin mining company. That could be a situation that could work in New York State. But instead of going after something and killing it, how about we do a little bit more research and see if there are more constructive ways of helping a burgeoning industry within the state. I do take my hat off to Dr. Ann Kells, and then the reason why is because she actually has a PhD, and she knows, and the woman knows what she's talking about. She graduated with a degree in environmental studies. All I'm saying is that I think it would be a little bit better if we can find different ways, solar, wind, whatever, that could help burgeoning industries like that, and to introduce, instead of just waving your finger and saying, no, 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 how about we say, let's sit down and figure out how we can do this better. So that's something I look at, and I kind of take a step back. Do I think that the bill is going to pass? I don't know, but it does. It has gained some steam. Some lawmakers have signed on, as well as some environmental groups. Like I said, instead of waving your finger at people, how about we sit down and we figure out a more efficient way of doing certain things, and maybe even find ways where we'd be able to introduce jobs, increase knowledge in STEM research, all that kind of thing that actually go into the industry and can help people put food on their table. Just a thought. I just think, being creative instead of, screaming no, no, no is just a better option. So being that I'm from New York, that's my message to Dr. Ann Kells. Just is there another way that we can do this besides, just throwing out a ban? Because there are tons of ideas that are out there already that are doing it. So just a thought. We're going to end on a note before we get to the numbers that, of course, the macro event of the Russian war with Ukraine is having, an effect all around the world, from stock markets to the cryptocurrency space to everything. I mean, you're finding that, even companies like Coinbase and Binance are saying we're not going to cut off Russians from, arbitrarily just cut off Russians from being able to use the exchange. But what they are saying, which I think is more important, is, well, if you've targeted somebody, an oligarch or whatever, and we can identify who they are and they're on our exchange, oh, we'll stop that. That's what Coinbase said. Coinbase said, well, hey, we'll definitely work with you on that, but we're not just going to arbitrarily cut everybody off, because that's punishing the people, and that's not what we're all about. And I can understand that perspective. I can understand both sides, but I really do understand why, a centralized exchange would say, no, we're not going to cut people off like that, just arbitrarily saying nope. Looking at the finance world, it's a different kind of world, and I get it. Like, that's why I said I can understand both sides. If you're targeting, I mean, I understand you want to put sanctions on to hurt Russia in general, because maybe that will push Putin to stop what he's doing. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. And, there got to be better ways to go about doing this. You might be able to tell, really quickly, well, who's on the list? How much money do you have in crypto? Because if you have this much money in crypto, maybe we go back and we say, well, are they an oligarch that's on our list? Yes or no? And, sanction them or not sanction them. But I think that's a very big deal. But to just say, hey, just arbitrarily cut everybody off in cryptos, that's difficult. It's very difficult, considering, a lot of people might have started moving their money off of exchanges, moving their cryptos off of exchanges, which has been a trait just in general for a while, right? The amount held by exchanges has been declining. So there got to be better ways to be able to do this. Maybe rethink what you're blocking. So you can block a transaction, yes. You can block an account, yes. But you might be able to block coins from happening, or track those coins as they're being used. And if they land someplace, seize them. But there are different ways to go about it. I'm not saying either side is right, either side is wrong. I just think that there's a lot that goes into that the general public is not aware of, and it's something to think about. So kick over a list and let them shut down those oligarchs' accounts for sure. The oligarchs, their families, shut them down for sure. Coinbase, I guess, is waiting for a list. I think Binance is too. I think Kraken might as well, but those are things that I kind of look at and say, this could work if we have a unified effort, in a given space, and we have a good way of going at it, not just, as a blanket going after cryptos like that. I think that's something. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't know which side is right, which side is wrong. I just think it's interesting about how it's playing out. these are, and I take a step back and I also look at these exchanges have also donated millions of dollars to Ukraine. So that's something that I pay attention to as well. Anyway, let's get to the numbers because they're pretty interesting. First of all, the fear and greed index, yeah, we're at 33. So we've gone up, we've gone down. So what was it yesterday? 51 down to 33 now. These are big jumps, big swings with regard to the fear and greed index. But if you think about where we are, what is it at? 42,000, something like that. 40,000, I think last look. Actually, we can go look at it right now. Bitcoin is at 40,619. Okay, but when you look at the chart and you zoom out a little bit, you realize, okay, that's not so bad. I will say that, we had a high of over $45,000 just yesterday, the day before. Something that I'm looking at is, well, wait a minute. That would mean that this is a buying opportunity, right? When you're down this much, that's a buying opportunity. I mean, that's a greater than 5% or 10% drop, right? Shouldn't we be looking at it as an opportunity to buy? I know I am, because that's on sale. Because I'm looking for another jump like this. I'm looking for jumps like that to happen because I think we're going to get back to 45 real quick. And I said yesterday or the day before that we're going to see a drop and then we'll see a rise because I think it's going to be a stair step as we move up. And this could just be another stair step as we move up. So that's something that I really like to look at when I'm looking at things. In general, you have the losers beating the winners, but let's take a look at actually who's losing. Like, is there anything here that we should be paying attention to? Phantom is down again, 7%. That is a sale price. So that's something I would pay attention to. Phantom is there. Is anybody else that I'm looking at within the top 25, losers? Is there anything that I'm kind of like, so I think that's the only one right there. And then for winners, okay, Anchor Protocol, that's good. Is there anything that I'm really paying attention to over here? Cody is up 3%. That's really not much. 3.59%. That's really not much. Like I said, my rule is, within that 5% gap, am I really thinking that you're moving up, moving down? I kind of think you're bouncing within a range and you're going sideways. Something that I do pay attention to with regard to that is that you can make 5% real fast. The same way it dropped 5%, it can pop back up 5%. And again, that 5% is immediate. It's not, here's 5% from your bank that happens over the course of a year. So let that sink in a little bit. If you've got some coins like me, you've got some coins that you're holding and you've got another set of wallets where you're actually actively trying to trade and trying to look at, well, it hit 45. What are the chances it's going to stay there? Well, chances aren't so great. Why don't I shave some profit? Not necessarily sell all of it off your trading wallet, but let me shave some profit so that if it goes down, I can buy back in, right? I can take advantage of where it is now. Is that 45? It's at 40 now. I can take advantage. That's what I'll do. So that's the kind of thing that we're looking at when we look at charts like this. So let's go on over to just a big kind of picture of what's going on here. Again, Solana's at $95. It's down over 5%, but it's at $95. That's a sale price. Oh, I'm sorry, now it's at $91. Still sale price. This one is a sale price to me. I'm clicking into it because I want to see what it's been doing. This is taking a little while. Let's reload as they ask. Bear with me. So when I look at Avalanche, up 1.88%. It's basically nothing. But when you look at this chart, you're kind of like, oh, okay. So yeah, I'm down, but I have the opportunity of going up. And I think Avalanche is going to see greater than $100 this year. So that could be a great investment. Again, when I look at things, I don't mind. I love making money. I love making percentages on my money. So Avalanche is one of those things I look at and I think I will make a percentage on my money, right? At $79, I think it's good. I think, it's good to make a percentage when it pops over 100. That's awesome. But I'm also looking at other things that would give me a multiple in terms of growth. VeChain is still one of those things that I think is going to give me, a multiple with regard to growth. Gala is another one that I think is going to do that. Cadena could actually still do it. Engine can definitely do it. Stacks can do it. Who is it? Harmony, I think, can do it. UFO Gaming is another one that I think can do it. My long shot is Saitama. So, that's a really, 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 really long shot, but I think they can make some money here. So I'm just looking at things and just saying, I think the market is on sale. I mean, look at Mana, $2.56 sale price. Let's look at their money, all-time high of 587. Yeah, that's a big time sale price. 587 versus 2 times this. So you're thinking I can double my money getting some Mana. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. How can I look for things and train myself to look for things that are going to have macro and micro effects on the market later down the road, so I can kind of see, well, am I making a move now based on the news and events? Am I making a move now that can help me in the future? And looking at something like Sequoia Capital, they're direct mentioning of Filecoin, creating a $500 million plus fund specifically for cryptocurrencies. Get in your seat and start researching your coins, because 2022 is starting off poorly, but I think it's going to gain some serious steam toward the end of the year. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you know when I'm dropping a new video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.